that you are really welcome. By way of introduction, my name is Dr. Patricia Goos, and I'm the director of the UNISA Science Engagement Center, and we present live online learning for robotics. And so the exciting part is, as we go along, you'll understand that all the material is available on the UNISA MOOC portal, and my colleague Tumelo, who's right here, is going to explain just now how to explore and find the UNISA MOOC portal. And then we have a lot of other people. Casper, you've just heard his voice. Casper is sitting on his mom's laptop, so he's behind Cornet. That's his face there. I'm sure you'll see Casper's face sooner or later. Then I've got Tumelo here on my side, and he's going to introduce the MOOC portal. And then Anzani is sitting there in the background, and she's made sure this whole thing has happened by putting the invitation together. So it's very much a team effort here, and welcome. So I think of all the participants that we have here, you are very new to robotics, and you're thinking, what on earth? How do I go about it? And we would love you to say, we're here. We're as a community, we're here. I see some of the participants have been here with us before. I recognize a couple of names. I know there's a large contingency from the Eastern Cape. And I know Pandile has been working very hard to get Eastern Cape on the map. So well done, Pandile, in all your efforts to inspire your teachers. And I would really like to welcome you to this robotics session. At all times, you are more than welcome to ask questions on the chat. Or if there's, I'm just not making sure whether the chat is available. Otherwise, we'll have a general Q&A session just now, and then we can all answer your questions. All right, so let's just jump in, and I'll start a very general introduction to what is robotics and where does it all fit together. If I can just find my, there we go, unit naught, and then I need to make sure that you can see my screen. So I'm going to ask the team whether they can see my screen quickly. I'm going to share. All right, so I'm assuming most of you have robotics kits, and you are thinking, what do you do with this robotics kit from the beginning? And so officially, very, very welcome to the UNISA Science Engagement Center. We're actually sitting in the Science Engagement Center at the moment. And this is a series of lectures we present as practical robotics for coaches. And we would love to one day do a practical workshop with you. But for now, this is how we're going to do it. All right, so robotics is really about, on the one hand, engineering, on the other hand, about programming, and in between that is the 21st century skills. And what we're going to be doing today and tomorrow is I'm going to introduce the basics of building and programming a robot, and then I'm going to introduce the basics of the engineering design process. Okay, and then next week we'll consider gears and sensors, but that's next week. For now, we're going to just do basic building and programming. All right. Oh, and just by way, this is what our lobby looks outside here. And there's usually a hive of activity. And this photo was taken about a week before we went into lockdown in 2020. All right. There's a...
Hello.
Yes, can you just mute your microphone, please? Thank you. All right. So really, what we're going to do today is we're going to build a robot with a robotics kit. You should have either an EV3 or a Spike Prime or an NXT kit. And if you have none of those, we will also explore using virtual robots. And then you'll need a laptop or with the software downloaded. And so for now, for the very first session, we're just going to consider building a robot. And so before the hour is up, you will be able to know how to build a robot. All right, so this is the iSet Robotics project, and we have a number of resources. This where we're in now is the live online learning. We have all these sessions are recorded, and Casper very diligently puts them on our YouTube channel, and usually also on the MOOC site. And then if you have any MOOC queries, Tumelo will very graciously guide you to your solutions. And he's going to also introduce what a MOOC is, because it's a massive open online course and all the content is available there. And then Anzani, if you've got any other queries, you just want to ask some questions, Anzani will answer those questions. And that's the link where the content of all these sessions is currently. Okay, so just by way of introduction, we have currently the ICT Robotics. It's 0 rated, and it's got, you create your own account, you log in, and then you become a member, and there's a whole lot of sites that you can join. We currently have M1 and M2 and M3 that are running. The Python is under construction, and the environmental sciences is in pilot. But also on the portal, there's a cyber safety MOOC, which you're welcome to use and explore and download. And then there's 2 DBE MOOCs, DBE 001 and DBE 002. And these are the MOOCs that are linked to the content of the grade R to grade 3 curriculum, robotics and coding curriculum. And every Friday we host a Q&A session at 3 o'clock, and you are more than welcome to request the link from our ICT email. Okay, and once you've finished all this online training and you are confident enough, there we also have a number of short learning programs that you can try in order. So you do the components, then you do the problem solving, then you do the fundamentals, and then you do for the future. But that is a 15-week course, and it has assignments and exams. And so we're really encouraging you to first join us on the free stuff, and then maybe next year we can go on to short learning programs. All right. So that's the end of my introduction. And I really don't want to overwhelm you, but I do want to say you are most welcome. And I'm going to now ask Tumelo whether he can show you around the portal where all the content is available. You don't need to take notes. You can access the portal at any time. You can download most of the content, and we'd love to have you as part of our learning community. And Tumelo, are you ready? Yes. Okay, so he's shaking his head. There we go. Tumelo, over to you.
All right, thank you so much. Once again, we are in day 1. This is unit 1. The second unit will take place from 4 o'clock. So as Dr. Khuz indicated, I'll show you where to get your MOOCs. So you simply go to your Google tab, then you simply type MOOC UNISA. Once you have typed MOOC UNISA, you simply go to new account. After clicking on new account, you are encouraged to create your own user ID. So a user ID does not have to be your ID number. Your user ID can be Tumelo123. That's an example. You can use your first name and just write 123. And then for your first name, you can include it there, your last name, your email address, and then you have to create your password and verify your password again. Once you have done that, before you click on create account, I'm going to encourage you to take a snapshot of your details. It's very important for you to know your user identification number as well as your password. And please note that your certificate will be sent to the email that you'll be using. Once you are done with that, you're going to click on login. After clicking on login, this is the first page that you'll see. For those of you who are using a phone, this won't be the same. On your side, it will show tools. So what you simply do, you click on tools, and then I'm going to ask you to pay attention to these tabs here. So underneath the UNISA logo, there's a tab, return membership. So on that membership tab, when you click on it, as Dr. Khous indicated, I'm going to show you where to find some few sites. So on your site, after clicking membership, it will write you are currently not registered for any site, or you are not joined any site yet. When you click on joinable sites, this is where you'll find the different MOOC portals or MOOC sites that Dr. Khous was talking about. This is where you find your ICT Robotics M1, M2, M3, M4, as well as you can see as I'm scrolling down there. This is where you can also find your robotics and environmental sciences MOOC. Once you have, oh, and also the DBE 001 and 002 sites. So you will choose whichever one you would like. For example, I'll focus on ISET Robotics M1 for now. When you click on ISET Robotics M1, remember, wait, I think I've done, I was a bit fast there. So on membership, when you click on joinable sites, I've just highlighted it. When you scroll down, you will look for ISET Robotics M1 2023. So when you click on join, it will take you, it's either you'll find the ISET Robotics M1 on top, or you simply go to my current sites whereby you would click on it. Once you click on it, this is where you get information regarding the Robotics M1 MOOC. So on this, it's very important for you to pay attention to the email address. This is our email address. And then announcements are regularly updated there. And you can see here underneath the UNISA logo, there are different tabs. So I encourage you to go through each and every tab so that you get to understand what is required on this site. And then if you do have any questions, like I said, you just send us an email. And I also see now we have 2 participants on this MOOC portal. And for now, I'll hand over to Dr. Gous. If you do have questions regarding this, I'll answer you on the chat or I'll wait for your emails. Thank you so much. Over to you, Dr. Gous.
Okay, thank you very much. There we go. All right, so that was just the introduction to where the content is. So you don't have to sit and write notes. You can just sit and listen and understand and comprehend what we're sharing with you. And you are also really more than welcome to ask questions. All right. So we're presenting, there's several robotics kits that can be used to build robots. Okay. And I think that most of the Eastern Cape teams got Spike Prime, so maybe it doesn't look exactly the same. Where's our Spike Prime robot? So what I can show you is these are little baby robots. So this is where we start. This is the EV3. The EV3 kit gives a robot like this, a straightforward robot with a brain, with wheels, with axles, and just a variation of that. Oh, there we go. There we go. Thank you very much. And there's a baby Spike Prime robot. It's also got wheels, axles. It's got a brain. It's got motors at the bottom. These are the motors. And so what we're going to do now in this session is just to understand how do we put everything together to make a robot, okay? And then hopefully we'll have some time later on to say, okay, so how do we make the robot work? All right. So if you have to understand that the robot has got a brain, and that's where all the computer programs are going to be downloaded to. It's got motors. So there's your motors. Your motors are going to turn, and the motors turning then turn the axles. The axles then turn the wheels, and then the wheels make the robot move. All right. So if both wheels are going to move forward in the same direction, your robot is going to move forward. If they both move in the other direction, your robot's going to move backwards. If you turn this motor off and you let this one turn, then it'll turn that way. The robot will turn in that direction. So these are all little pieces of information that you use to build a robot. Now, everybody has to start somewhere. And so that's why we encourage using building instructions. We follow building instructions to build the basic robot. And once we have that, you as the educators or coaches and your learners will then learn how to build robots. And obviously we're going to keep pushing the boundaries because there's a whole world of robots that we're going to build. And I'm going to ask whilst I present Unit 1 now, we've even got a snake robot, which is a really cool robot. But for now, for our session today, we're just going to build just plain, straightforward, wheeled robots. Okay, so let me set up my presentation. So how does one then build a robot? I mean, we all know how to do certain things. We know how to build a house. We know how to build a sandcastle. We know how to see, but somewhere along the line, it's new. And so building robots is a new concept. for you, the coaches, as well as for our learners, it is a new concept. So we need to start just to understand, first of all, what is a robot? All right. So as I said just now, we have either an EV3 kit, which is more the grays and the white kits. This was replaced in the midst of COVID with a Spike Prime kit, which is the little yellow colorful set that we have. And we use different programming software then to program different robots. And as the whole class unfolds, you'll understand how we go. But there's lots of resources. There are lots of resources that you can use to find building instructions, to find ideas, to share your information. And what we really would like is, is we would like you to get to a point where you have so much information that you can share. Okay. So if you have a Spike Prime robot, you will build a driving base, and you will Prime lessons online. There's a whole lot of lessons that you can use, and we will probably go through some of them. There are a plethora of videos to show you how and to wow you on how these robots can be programmed and function. My favorite is Builder Dude 35. He was a very young man when we started out. He has his own YouTube channel, and he has an amazing collection of lessons that you can learn and things that you can learn from. So that is kind of one of those things. And again, there's an online community. So what Tumelo showed you on the MOOC portal on M1, we already have a community contribution of the lessons. So you'll see under syllabus, you will see there's an overview document. So you'll download that. You'll see that there are various lessons in 4 units. There are a whole lot of lessons. And if you go down, you can go to lesson plans and you can download all the stuff. That is the first draft of it, and we're waiting for contributions from our community, and you're in the community. Okay, so what is a robot? What is a robot? Nobody.
As you were talking, I wanted to also share my screen so that I show.
Oh, go for it. Yes. Okay, so Tumelo's going to come in as well here. Yes, you can go. You got it?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So you got it?
Yes. I'm on the MOOC side. So you were indicating that.
Oh, yes.
You were saying that this is where they get the syllabus.
Under syllabus, click on syllabus.
Yes.
You'll get the overview document.
Then there's an overview document.
There we go.
It is there.
Right.
And then you can click on the overview document, and
everything is in there. Yes.
As well as these are the lesson plans that you.
There we go. Yes, and they're our first drafts. So if you've got some cool ideas and you want to add to the lesson plans, we'd love to hear from you. Okay. Everybody cool with that?
I think you have to share your screen again.
I've got to share my screen. Oh, gosh. All right, I'm going to share my screen again. This is when his teamwork really works. Eh? All right, so the Windows, Unit 1, share. Okay, so now from the current slide.
Yes.
Now can you see everything? Sure.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so what is it? Don't take it away. Yeah.
Okay. No, I wanted to.
You want to show?
As you're talking.
Okay. So what we have is we have either robots that are mobile, which means they must have some form of movement, or they're fixed. And this one has got wheels, so that's a mobile robot. The fixed robot will be like in a factory where you can have an arm that picks things up and drops things. Okay, so those are the two kind of types, very roughly. All right, but your mobile robot can either be aquatic, which means it goes under the water, and that is a whole exciting new avenue. Then you've got the terrestrial robots. The terrestrial robots are that can move on the land, and then the airborne are like your drones. Okay. But terrestrial, you can either have wheeled or you can have legged. So you can get spiders, you can get creepy crawlies, or you can get those with wheels that turn. So all robots can basically be classified somehow. Okay. So you have to, as part of this, there's more to know, and you have to know what robots are doing, what tasks they're doing, and how, because our function as coaches is to prepare our learners to actually link what they're learning to what the robots are out there. And so there's a really cool site called the Top 10 Most Amazing Technological Robots for 2023. Go and look, go and see what the robots are doing. You will be amazed. All right. So I pulled some of them out here, and I And I just, the first one, the Robert, really tickled me. It's a high-tech teddy bear that aims to help raise elderly people from a bed to a wheelchair. And if you, I'm currently in the situation, older people are very unstable on their feet. And so once you've lifted them out of the bed, then they've always had that fear of falling and not getting into a wheelchair. The robot to do that. So it's just amazing. Okay, the other one is the ocean robot. And if you stick with us with the environmental science and robotics, we'll discuss these various ocean robots that are high-tech, and they are attacking not attacking, they are dealing with the crises that we have. But all this kind of contributes to preparing our learners. All right. So as Tamelo showed you, those two different robots, the one is the EV3 and the other one is the Spike Prime. One kit, many robot designs, and you've got to start somewhere. So we start with just the wheeled robot. We build either a Riley rover or we build a driving base. So when you open your box and you're like, oh, I don't know where to go, build a driving base and just start somewhere. You can modify as you go along. You'll also find some really cool designs. We'll share those as we go along as well. Okay, so for today, we're going to first do the engineering part of it, and then we'll take a quick break, and then we'll do some programming. Okay, today, and then tomorrow we'll go on to problem solving and the engineering design process. Okay, so if you look in your book under overview document under Unit 1 in building, you'll notice that the focus is definitely on the wheeled robots. Okay, and you can provide your learners with examples of different kinds of robots that are wheeled. So they'll have big wheeled robots, small wheeled. The wheeled size differs, but also that's according to the function of the robot. Okay, but you must be able to describe. So if you take this robot and you want it to do something else, how are you going to adapt it? And it's important that your learners are able to explain how they're going to change it. Name the components that are required to change it from this to that. Okay. A sturdy robot and a rigid structure is really important. Okay. You do not want robots that fall apart. And this is going to unfold. I know this is the very first lesson in robotics, but as you build these sturdy robots, it's very sad for teams to come to competitions and then the robots fall apart. You need to teach them well from the beginning what is a sturdy and rigid structure. Okay. Then for our robots, the source of power is the battery pack that needs to be charged. And so you need to make sure that your robot has enough capacity to do the tasks that you want it to do. Learners need to know how to explain how the robot moves and how it functions without using thingies and other thingies. They must be able to vocalize it in terminology. Okay, so every unit has got 7 objectives. And so for Unit 1, we have to build a wheeled robot. So that's either the Riley rover or the driving base. Then we need to be able to build a different robot from building instructions. And then you need to be able to describe what's the difference. Why is this better than that? Okay. And then there's a document called a Constructopedia, which you can, there's the link for it. You download it. In there are different chassis. So sometimes the brain is mounted vertically on top, horizontally on top, and sometimes it's vertically on top. Okay, and otherwise it's turned on its sides. The Constructopedia is currently for the EV3, but I'm sure a Spike Prime Constructopedia will come out soon. But it's a good source of information. All right. Then when you've done with wheeled, then you have track tires and see, does it change? And then of course you build a non-wheeled robot. So, and we'll show you the snake just now. Build something else, build something that doesn't look like a robot, and then you'll be able to, okay, so this is how we build with these pieces and components. All right, and that's just the Constructopedia. All right. But building instructions, so here is just an example. See, here's the brain is on top and the motors are underneath. Here, the motors are alongside the brain. Okay. So you need to actually build, and it's easy for me to tell you this, and you say, but unless you actually build it, that's where the practical experience comes in. Okay. It's like watching MasterChef. You can watch it. You can watch all the episodes and all the seasons. That doesn't make you a master chef. If we want master builders, you actually have to build. You actually have to build. All right, and I'll work on my chef skills and you work on your programming and robot skills. Okay, so there's a lot of really cool ideas in the Constructopedia that you can build. Choose one or two, build a chassis like this, and then you ask your learners, okay, so how are we going to make it move? All right. One of the problems with this thing is that motor is turned upside down. You're going to have to need really big motors, wheels to ensure that it gets you. So that needs some, I'm just telling you, that needs some modification. It's not so straightforward. Okay. It's to get a chassis to move, which is really cool. Okay. Okay. So there's the robotics kit, and Tamila's going to show you just now in person. We're going to unpack it. The one has got a box of really cool components, and the other one, so that's what it looks like. All the similar pieces, maybe not exactly the same pieces, but definitely not exactly the same colors. It doesn't matter as long as you have the pieces to build. And what you actually want your learners to do is they need to progress from using building instructions to actually doing their own designs, and that's the sweet spot. All right. So just as a kind of, so where do you connect things? This is a EV3 brain, and then we have motors. We have 2 large motors and a medium motor. The large motors are going to be used to make the robot move forward and backwards, and whereas the medium motor will probably be used to lift an arm or to have a gripper or something. Okay, and then what we're going to do on M2, that's next week, is we're going to introduce sensors. And sensors are that take measurements from your environment, and then we're going to use that in our programming. All right, so it can see what colors in front of it, where's the obstacle in front of it, if it has to follow a line, where's the edge of the line, with a touch sensor as it collapsed and collided with something. Right, and then there's the battery pack, and that does need to keep, you need to keep that charged, well charged. Okay, that's the brain, and then the battery pack fits inside there. Oh yes, and the battery must be fully charged at all times. So in EV3 we have input ports and we have output ports for all the sensors. Those are inputs, and your output ports have then the motors. All right, it looks very similar for the Spike Prime. Again, here's your brain, there's your motors, there's your more motors, and there's all your sensors at the back there. Okay. There's terminology included, and you can download these lists. They're axles, and they are connectors, and they are pointers, and they are bushings. It's just good not to say thingies and other thingies, but call it by its name. All right. So what is the build focus of robotics? And I think most of you have already at least seen the technology syllabus that we had a couple of years ago. All these words were in that. So it was a good start. It was a good place. So every system has an input, must have a process, and must have an output. There must be friction and traction. There must be a center of gravity so the whole robot doesn't topple. There are always axles and wheels and pulleys. Your gears are very important. We'll do that next week. Mechanical efficiency is just as important, and then your engineering design process, we'll tackle that tomorrow. Okay, so where do you start? Where in this world do you start? And as always, the internet is a really good place to start. So in terms of building resources, and I see I've just cut this off here. There was some text on here. I'll have to get it out here. So the Riley rover is a very good one for the EV3. And the Steve bot as well. It's a very basic robot. And the EV3 lessons have got a number of designs. But really, if you, for Spike, if you just type in on the internet Spike Prime building instructions, you're going to get a whole lot of really cool building instructions. There is that quad pod, which is not wheeled, so it actually walks, and it's really cute. Yeah. Okay, so you do have building instructions. There are building, and there are more, and there are more, and everybody is really eager and keen to share their designs with you. You'll notice some standard designs that you can really identify with, and that works for you. For us, with all the years of lessons, we've always done the EV3 or the winning design. The winning design is the robot with the kind of frame around it. And I see here for Spike Prime, they've also got a frame around it. So that's kind of your next step robot, which is good. Okay. So how do you read building instructions? Okay, so this is step 3 of building instructions. So it says it's step 3. What do you need? You need one axle of length 4, one connector, and one friction and non-friction connector. What must you do? You put the axle into the connector, then you put it through that side, and you put this piece there into that point. Okay, so there's no words, okay, but you can read building instructions without any words. All right, that's point number 3. Those are the components you need. There it says it's of length 4. You need one of those, and you need one of those. All right. So just by way of kind of how do you find out how long an axle is? You hold it against the beam. I'll show you now. And the number of holes that it covers is the length of your axle. Okay. Again here, this is step number 22. This is only one part that you need. But important here is to notice that this little symbol, it says flip it over. So you just flip it over, and then you put that piece obviously over here. You fit it all into there. It all fits in together. All right. And that's the robot upside down. You will notice that. Okay. So some people show you building instructions on paper. And other people like to do YouTube channels. So they've got YouTube videos here. They put all the pieces out. You can lay it all out, and then you can put it all together and you listen to the instructions. Okay. There are also, and we'll get to that when we go to the studio software, you can download building instructions, and then you can create it virtually as well. All right. And good news is there is a classrooms activity for the busy teacher in Spike Prime. There's a very similar book also available for EV3. And this just gives you a whole lot of different things that you can build. Remember, we're trying to build a frame of reference. Okay, so as soon as we have a frame of reference for our learners, then they can start experimenting with it. But what you really want, is your learners to be able to build different robots and experiment with different robots. Okay. So why do we teach robots? Why do we teach kids to build robots? We've got the whole thing of 3D thinking. All right. Remember when we look at a book, we are in 2D. When we are in 3D, when we hold this robot kind of in our hand, this is 3-dimensional. All right. And the learners need to be able to convert a 2-dimensional to something that is 3-dimensional, and to be able to figure it out, and to be able to make logical decisions of whether it's going to work or not work. My point number 2 is really important, because I'm not sure that everybody can follow instructions. And if you don't follow instructions from step 1, you are going to not be able to finish your robot. So following instructions and working as a team together to follow the instructions. Okay. Should I put my camera off rather then? Okay, so I'm just going to pause here for a minute. Just going to put my camera off. Okay, now we carry on. Okay. Everybody else can also put their cameras off, please. Okay. All right. So the other, can you see my presentation? Okay. All right. The other one that's really important is that learners need to start learning a vocabulary. It's a different vocabulary. I must just add that our team have got together a dictionary in 11 official languages, 100 words, so we can actually learn the vocabulary in any language in South Africa, which we're very excited about. And we're busy getting printing quotes so that we can distribute our dictionary to all schools. But the next one is not only having the vocabulary, but having the perseverance to solve a problem. And you'll see we're going to give you a whole lot of problems to solve. And it's not just like, oh, I know the answer, but it's like, how do we get to the answer? And so that problem solving is a 21st century skill for sure. And if learners can take a huge problem and divide it up and solve it, that's awesome. All right. And then teamwork. We don't want solo. Never solo. Please, never, never, never solo. Our learners need to learn to work together, and you as teachers as well. If you can work together to make a robotics team, that'll be just kudos to you. All right. Yeah. I thought I'd make a challenge. You send a picture of your kit at the moment, because there's really no fun with incomplete kits, and you need to have enough time to clean up. So this is one of my pictures. It was during a competition. First of all, the brain is connected there and is charging on that form. But if you can see, there goes the cable. I don't know if you can see at the back there. There goes the cable over there. So you need one kid to pull on that cable over there, and this whole thing is going to come crashing down, and the laptop is going to come crashing down, and there's all these pieces and bits and pieces lying around. No. Never, never, never. It's got to be organized. You've got to clean up. You've got to keep it neat and tidy. But also, if you have an hour and a half, say, for classes, all right, and the learners are very clever. They're going to get their parents to come pick them up before the class is done, and then you're going to be sitting, sorting and clearing away robotics kits. So I would say always leave some time. So if you have an hour and a half, leave like 10 minutes to introduce the class and say what you're going to do. You need a full hour to do the class. The learners need to tell you what they've done, and they need to clean up, and they can only go home once the whole team has cleaned up. All right. I just want to also add that I don't work on tables. I work on trays, so nothing falls on the floor. It's just so easy that pieces go missing. All right, you'll see here. It's about ownership and teamwork. You need to keep the pieces together. You need to check for pieces at the end of the day. Keep the boxes well sorted. And for our kits that go all over South Africa, we clean the kits regularly. It's a kind of a thing that we do. And there must be allocated space. You need to have a space to do robotics in your class, please. Okay. This is just an aside, and this is more for you as coaches. You do need to keep your battery packs charged. There will be firmware updates. You really need to update that as well, and remove old projects from your file as well. And you need to connect the wires very carefully. There's a thing here on what can go wrong. So you need to learn what can go wrong, and a lot can go wrong. But you as a teacher need to preempt it. I'm doing a really cool series on debugging. And part of the thing that learners can't debug is because they're so busy learning the basics that they actually can't go into the realm of debugging. And so you as the coach need to know what to look for. But that comes with experience, and that comes with time. Okay. And so that's the end of Unit 1. I'm just going to pause here a minute and ask, are there any questions? Let me just quickly stop sharing here. All right. Are there any questions till now? Yes, Belina. Hi.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you. I've got 3 questions here. I want to ask if it's possible that you can email us the slides. And secondly, if I heard you correctly, you spoke about the software. So where do we get this software? And one other thing is regarding the kits. Where do we buy them? How can we get so that we can build the robots, and how much are they, maybe roughly? So it's about the slides.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Pretoria. I'm from Jopifori Primary School.
Okay.
Yes.
Does your school maybe send me an email and I can discuss if your school does your school have a robotics plan?
I beg your pardon?
Does your school have a plan to roll out robotics in your school?
Yeah, at the moment, our teachers are interested in joining this course. So if we can just get the guidance. So I think our teachers, we've got plus minus 10 teachers who have indicated that they would like to attend the training. So if we can get the proper guidance, I don't think we will have challenges anyway.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, then Belina, is it Belina? Hey. Mm-hmm. Okay, maybe just send me an email and we can maybe discuss this offline about that as well. But it's great that you have 10 teachers. Well done. Well done.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. Excellent.
Just quickly, question again. Which school is it from? Is the person from?
The school is in Pretoria, opposite Hoshimampuru Prison, not far from UNISA, Salvagop.
Okay,
you know where Stats SA is. That's where our school is. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, Belina, you'll send me an email then. Okay, and then we can discuss this further.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, awesome. And then if you look on the chat, they've just put the links on there for the downloads for the software. Okay. Belina, you can see it?
I'm trying to get the chats. I can't see it on my laptop. I'm just trying to check where the icon is.
Okay. All right. Okay, but we can add that to the MOOC portal as well. Awesome.
Chat is not available.
Sorry, Almarie?
Chat is
Doctor,
not available.
it says the chat is not available.
Oh my goodness me. Okay. 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 Hey, tochi. Okay. Oh goodness. All right. What are we going to do now? Okay, my team are busy thinking what we're going to do. Okay. All right. Maybe we can put it all out on the MOOC portal. Put all the links onto the MOOC portal. All right. Okay, Vusi, you have your hand up. Yes, sir.
Yes, afternoon, Prof. Can you hear me?
Afternoon. I can hear you, yes.
Yes, my school has been selected to pilot the robotics and coding. We are based in Piet Retief in Mpumalanga province.
Piet Retief. Woo! Awesome.
Yes. I was actually there last week. Yeah, I spoke to, I think it's Tumelo, one of your guys there.
Tumelo is sitting right next to me here. Yes.
Yeah, I visited him. Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, that's a guy. Yeah, he's cool. Yeah. Yes. So what I want to know is how are you working with the Department of Basic Education? Because I'm not sure who will provide the training for the teachers. So I just want to know, how are you working with the Department of Basic Education?
Okay. So here's your good news for the day, Vusi.
Yes.
Here's the good news. So UNISA was given the contract to develop the teacher training material for the DBE curriculum.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's great.
And it's free, mahala, and 0 rated. So I'm going to ask Tumelo to share his screen on the, if you still got the MOOC portal up there. So there's 2 MOOCs that all teachers, I really believe, should do.
Okay.
So it's called DBE 001 and DBE 002.
Okay.
Right? And Tumelo's going to show you where you can find them. And the cool thing is, the teachers need to submit a portfolio. But if you just do 1 unit every week, and then when you finish, you'll submit it. And the assignments are open till the end of 2030. So there's plenty of time. Okay.
Oh, that's plenty. Okay. Okay, that's good news. Thanks, Prof.
You're very, very welcome. So how do we work with the DBE? We've got those 2. Thanks, Tumelo. We've got those 2 MOOCs there for the grade R to grade 3 teachers, but I think all teachers should start with that. Okay. And then we are running several practical workshops for teachers. We're just waiting for the final approval. We've done some with KZN, and we've done some with Gauteng, and we're doing more with Gauteng. Yeah, so we're in the process of rolling that out, having practical workshops over the weekend with departments of education. Yes, but as a practical, yes.
Okay, thanks, Prof.
Okay, so Vusi, if you're going to invite me to Mpumalanga.
Definitely, sure. I spoke to Tumelo. I told him you need to come this side. Definitely, you have to come this side.
Okay. All right. No, that's good. Does he have your contact details, Vusi?
No, he gave me his contact details. I don't think he has my contact details, but I sent him an email. He's got my email address.
Okay. Okay, I'm just making a note. Tumelo's got your email address. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay, thanks.
I'll switch off my camera. Oh dear, my camera apparently is blurry. Okay, we're going on to the other camera now. You're putting your microphone on. So you put my microphone's on your cam. Where's my camera? Oh, Nia.
Who's this now?
All right. We're trying. Yeah, man.
There we go.
Yeah.
So we can talk from that side.
Now I can talk. Oh, my word, this is multitasking here, if ever there was.
Vusi, can you please lower your hand?
There we go. Okay, let's have a look if there's any more hands up. Ramatabati. Hi. You want to say something?
Hi, Prof. Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Thank you. I just want to find out in terms of the practical sessions.
Yes.
Yeah, anyway, I'm speaking from Northwest.
Okay.
I am the subject advisor and I've been given this robotics to take care of.
Yes.
So I wanted to know more about it. In terms of practical sessions, I've heard you had some in KZN, some in Gauteng. How do we access them from other provinces? Like,
okay, so all right. So Ramatabeti, you know what? I think you should just send me an email and request the team to come and visit Northwest.
Okay.
I think that'll be the easiest.
Okay. The email I set at unisa.ac.za.
That's correct. That's correct. My team will pick up the email from you and then we will add you to our planning. Yeah, let's have a look whether we can come visit Northwest. That'll be great.
Okay, thank you very much.
Great. Okay, now my camera's totally gone. Okay, we've got a delay here. All right, let's try again. There we go. Okay. All right. Pule, hi.
Afternoon, doctor.
Hi, Pule, how are you doing?
I'm okay, doctor, and you?
For a Monday, that's not Monday. I'm doing very well, thank you.
Yeah, this is Tuesday, the Monday, Tuesday, yeah? Doctor, we by the way, we are the Acacia, Large School Acacia team.
I know.
You know our challenge, doctor. I think the Neo did speak to you.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to make time and come or get somebody to come, maybe make time and come see to Melo, or so that you can clarify, because there's one of our person that have registered and we pay that, but she didn't get any communication from UNISA.
Okay, Pule, can we do a meeting tomorrow afternoon sometime?
Doc, maybe I should send you I should send direct the contact that you could have a meeting tomorrow afternoon around 2-ish.
Yes, yes.
All right. I'll send a WhatsApp or even an email to you, doctor.
Okay, that's perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now we'll sort out your issues, Pule, no problem. Okay.
All right, doctor. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay. Okay. Anybody else got any more questions?